Hey everyone, Tactics here with my second last high key commentary video, this time going over a Halls of Atonement plus 21. Just like with my previous commentary videos, which you can find over on my channel, I'll be going through the route that we used, critiquing my own play as a Guardian Druid, and of course providing some tips and tricks that we use at high keys in order to get them timed. With all that said, if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like and subscribe to be notified when I post more Warcraft content, and let's get right into it. So this first pull is actually a little scuffed, and as you see, the first two pulls actually a little bit scuffed, but basically what we're doing is we're triple pulling, or quadruple pulling even, and the problem here that we face is actually this inspired mob. So one of the ads over here doesn't quite get in far enough, and I miss thrashes on it, this guy over here. Basically I should have seen this, I should have moved over and gotten these thrashes a little bit earlier. Yeah, but it ends up with our mage eating a tank buster and getting murdered. Which is a little bit unfortunate, of course. And so this kind of slows the whole pull down a bit. And basically what happens is that I have to commit my incarn. So previously my incarn, I only used the pre-incarn. But here, because of the death, we have a lot less damage. Obviously that mage is normally on top with no one near him. So I've got to commit incarn to this pull, and that basically means I'm not going to have incarn for the next pull, which is going to also result in further scuffing. But we managed to kind of recover from this fairly well. I think that one death is all we have, but it was just a lot of damage lost there. Yeah, we are able to kind of recover. I'm trying to kite those bleeds a little bit. Yeah, basically, like, the whole grouping is kind of devolved here, so unfortunate, lost damage all around from that as well. We are able to recover here, and next we're just going to abuse some rogue stuff. We're going to shroud, get better overall pulls. So we're shrouding here to skip these, the Stoneborn and the Obliterator and Darkblade, and we're just pulling on top of here. Now again, normally I would have incarn for this, so I would just incarn this, but basically what's going to happen is the mage is going to pull thread off of me because I don't have incarn. Just slight unfortunate. Yeah. And again, that would have basically all been solved if I just moved left, or right rather, a little bit earlier in the other pack. I noticed that guy was a little far away and made sure to get thrashes on him. It would have made life much easier. I think now what we're going to back up, we're going to double Mind Soothe, which works as well. And mage should be able to walk through and rejoin the pack. And this is going to summon our Pride. And the reason we're not pulling these Stoneborn into this is because on these high key levels, Prides are extremely scary. But we want at least 3 Prides, one going into every single shard pack. And so what we're going to do instead is we're going to use gargoyles on all these Prides. Just to make them a lot easier. That gives us the 45 seconds of damage reduction on everybody, as well as the extra damage the gargoyle provides. Just makes Prides a lot smoother. And then we're able to take these bigger Pride buffs into the actual shards, and we're able to actually also hold things like Combustion. Like as you can see here, we're just hard holding Combustion so he can use them on the shards. Now we're just taking it into this shard pack. And basically, shards are exceptionally scary here. You can LOS the shard thing, but you can also just outrange it. Yeah, I think this was an LOS issue here because our healer outranged it and our mage is LOSing here. But yeah, but normally you can choose to either outrange or LOS. You just want to make sure you're together. And then as this is dying, I'm just going to pull in the little guys because there's not much else to worry about as a tank once you've got all those other stuff, and the shard has so much HP anyways that it's not a big deal staggering this pull a little bit. You're not really losing much time. And it's just a whole lot safer as a tank. Yeah, because those groundskeepers actually hit quite hard. They hit surprisingly hard. They're very small, but they hit very, very hard. So definitely be careful when you're pulling them. You don't want to pull much else with them. Backing away from that shard, finishing off these groundskeepers, and then I'm going to jump off here and actually pull this Pat, as you'll see. this makes this pull a little bit easier. The one we shrouded previously, we're just doing a triple pull here, popping Incarn. Yeah, you want to back up a little bit so this guy comes up the stairs, makes life a little bit easier, and then you're just focusing him down. Yeah, we're not too worried about the curse here because we have 2 cursed spells. So anytime there's a double obliterator with inspiring, it's not really a big deal for us, just because we can get everyone dispelled as needed. But as a tank here, you just have to know you're going to be taking all the wicked bolts here with this inspiring mob. So you need to be ready for that kind of damage intake. I waited for the inspiring mob to die there before knocking those Gargants back to start kiting and drop my bleeds. Then yeah, walk back in, regroup the mobs, get them all down, and this will spawn our pride. And as you can see, our warrior went and got the other gargoyle that was downstairs near the end of that pack, and so we have that for this pride. Another fairly relaxed pride because of this gargoyle. And we always commit rogue CDs and like the warrior CDs. I mean, in general, this group composition that we have, they're all very low cooldown abilities, right? Combustion, adrenaline rush, and then recklessness / blade storm, all fairly low cooldown. But we hold that combustion because again we have that gargoyle, so we don't need to commit combustion, and we just pop combustion in on this pack. And they're able to just kind of melt. And same deal here. As soon as these 3 die, I'm going to add these groundskeepers. Yeah, I think I wait for the thrash to go off. Yeah, add them near the end. And we'll just cleave them down with this shard. Yeah, in general, having this pride buff, like there is a route that skips all these pride buffs. I'm sure a lot of people have seen it. I prefer this one because not only is it more reliable, right? Because skipping what 3 to 4 pride buffs is a little sketch. Obviously, you can do it if you're very coordinated, but it's still a little bit sketchy. But also, I mean, it just makes killing a shard so much safer, right? If you're always killing it with a pride buff, it takes a little bit longer, and Halls is in general a bit of a longer or a tighter timer key on higher key levels. On lower key levels, it's very easy, quick key, but on higher key levels, it's a bit tight. Yeah, so this is just a double pull here. We have the padding groundskeeper as well. That's fine, we'll just add it. But it's the same thing. You have the inspired Houndmaster, so you either have to wait, or you have to run away like I did. Wait for the Houndmaster to just be far enough away, and then knock back to be able to kite a little bit extra room. Yeah, I was at a very high bleed stack count there, but I believe I incarned that. Yeah. And so this is going to get our 60% pride, and of course we have that Stoneborn right to our left, or right beside us there. Coming in, and as you see here, we actually polyed this guy, the pat right here. If you poly or CC that front pat at any point, it will just stop the entire pat. So we CC'd it because we don't want to pull it. We're going to walk right by it and do the shard. And we're actually never going to pull it. So we're going to see that the mage is babysitting that, making sure it's always polyed so it doesn't pat back on top of us. You could still aggro that if you walk too close, so you want to make sure it's far enough away that you're not going to aggro it. Alright. Same deal here, just finishing off this third and final shard with our third pride buff. And then we'll just go into that pack in front of the boss, and then the boss himself. No extra stuff added here, just the shard, because you don't need the extra percent. At this point, we're at 66%. We're already going to be, I think, a couple percent high on the overall ad count anyways, so you don't actually need anything extra here. I also have Incarn going into this next trash pool. It's a fairly decent sized pool, so you probably want that. Yeah, and that ad is still just CC'd in that corner, and now no one's aggroed it, so we're just moving on, and we're never going to end up pulling it ever. Incarning this pool, yeah, a little spooky. No inspiring mob though, so it's a little bit easier in that sense. You can kite whenever you need to. In this case, I'm in Incarn fully, so I don't really need to kite right away. Let my bleed stacks drop and then go back in, and we'll pull that gargoyle on top of the boss as well. So we're going to gargoyle and lust this boss. And not too much talk about this boss. Don't be near your tank. Make sure you're dodging the other swirlies. And then as a tank, you're pretty much after the 4th debris. So 2 on the tank and 2 on other people. So after the next one, I'll be doing a fairly decent sized move, just so people have room to actually deal with these spinning circles. And that's really it. Just kind of repeat that. You can put the boss directly on top of this to give you some more room. And now everyone has tons of room to dodge circles. And then that's really it for this boss. I mean, it's nothing too crazy going on here. So we're going to finish this boss off. And then we're going to pull this 2-pack in front of the stairs, up the stairs to the other 2-pack with the gargoyle. And we're going to use that. Now this is interesting. I'm thinking about it. Maybe we like mind suit that and see if that works. Because ideally, we pull that gargoyle a little bit later, but obviously that 2-pack is right on top of it, right? So, unless you have a way to CC the gargoyle, which I'm not sure, we haven't really tested that kind of stuff. That might be the play. Just because our gargoyle, because we instantly pulled it, we had to kind of just grab it pretty much, because otherwise it's going to cleave and murder people. And you see our buff is running out, so we have 10 seconds left on the buff, so we don't really have much time, and our pride is just spawning. So definitely an improvement we can work on for this specific pull, just so we have the gargoyle safety net. But also, I guess in an ideal scenario, you're probably actually invis-potting this pride. Yeah, so either way, there are 2 ways to solve that. Either you have the gargoyle go disappear like 5 seconds earlier before the pride even spawns, or you are able to somehow not pull the gargoyle with this pack so you can pull it for this pride. Either way though, we're killing this pride and we're shrouding instantly up to the boss. And yeah, just moving on to the second boss pretty much instantly, but you know, already 83% done completion on the trash. Not sure. I shouldn't be tanking in the center of the room. Yeah, that's what happens. You should be pulling the boss like to the edge, so you have your first puddle that comes up very quickly to the edge, and then you can walk back to the middle for this ad set and just, you know, kick the far ones in. Again, we have 2 curse dispels, so we always get the healer and then the target of the thing, so they can dodge it just like that. Because yeah, that damage of the impact is completely dodgeable if the person can move. Right, rogues can do even just sprint, right? He doesn't even need to jump out with his chain, but he can do the chain. Priests can do it with their little speed buff. Obviously mages can blink. I can do it with stampeding. Warriors can leap. Leaps a little early there. Still dodged it though, I think, right? Yeah, so that's fully dodgeable, and it's a lot of damage too, so it's good to dodge that if you can. Yeah, pretty much just trying to group the ads as best as possible, and then nuking them down, and then just getting them with a single leap if we can. I don't dodge it there, but probably, I mean, I probably should have, but also it's much less scary as a tank. I was being lazy. Yeah, again, Boss just pretty much repeats. Try and not have puddles in the middle of the room. Like, these outsider ones are much better, but we still have the center area right here where we can group all the mobs, so that's good. Oh, I think this was unfortunate, yeah. Never get stunned in a puddle. That is pain. Even as a tank. Very, very pain. Yeah, we're able to finish it off here. And notice how I'm holding Incarn because the next pack is extremely scary. Oh, trolling me. The next pack is extremely scary on Inspiring in particular. But even without Inspiring, just Fortified on its own makes this pack scary with triple Gargan and double Houndmaster. So I have Incarn going into this. And basically what we're going to do is, I believe we're going to be hard focusing the one Inspired Gargan, yeah. Just so we can CC the Houndmasters when they do Loyal Beasts. And also just gets rid of a Gargan. I'm backing up here. Gargan's gonna die soon. Then I head back in to deal with the Houndmaster CCs, which I believe we get soon. Just one Loyal Beast. We're able to get these down safely without anybody getting murdered. Always good. This is one of the scarier... I mean, honestly, this dungeon in general is big pull after big pull, and a lot of them are scary. They're very, very scary. Anything with Gargans is scary. Anything with those little groundskeepers gets scary. And obviously the shard packs are very scary for everybody. Just a lot of rough trash. So we're just doing an LOS pull here. Grabbing all those mobs. They'll just group up at the door here. And obviously one is inspired. There's a caster in there, but same deal. We can dispel curses, and I'll just have to eat the wicked bolts. Oh, that's unfortunate. Probably should have faced him a little bit more towards the wall just so that doesn't happen. But... oops. I think we just battle res him here. Yeah. We just battle res him up. Finish off this pack, and we're going to go into the third boss and walk right down the middle and use no gargoyles whatsoever, because we're actually going to be doing a little bit of a cheesy burst thing on the mini boss. So no gargoyles, no gargoyles used. Just moving straight into the boss, and we're going to commit. I believe we can commit 1 minute twice and 2 minutes once. I believe that's what we're doing here. So we're going to get 2 adrenaline rushes. We're going to get 2 combustions, I believe. And the warrior, I believe, gets 2 rounds of his cooldowns as well. 1.5 minutes are fine as well. But yeah, this boss, we're just making sure we're getting kicks. Volleys for sure need to be kicked. The only spell, the bolts, they're not a huge deal, honestly. They're just tank dam, and really it's not that much tank dam anyways. And there's basically nothing else happening for your tank on this fight anyways, so not a big deal if you miss bolts like that. Right, it's like 20 max, 20% of my HP for a bolt, unmitigated completely. So yeah, they really don't hit that hard. Yeah, so we're finishing off this boss. And of course the ending is going to be a little slower because we're not repopping CDs. And then we're going to double pull these gargoyles. We're going to wait. We have our 1 vent there, and basically if you just walk in range of both and spam your ability, you'll get both. And we're stampeding through. We have every single cooldown. We have Bloodlust, so basically we're just going to burn Inquisitor. After this cast is when the burn starts. You have 30 seconds exactly to kill him before he heals. Yeah, so we troll this a little bit here. So what we've decided, I think we're going to Ring of Frost here to stop all these ads from coming up, because it actually stops our mage from getting any DPS off for a second here, and our priest then has to stop and heal him. So we actually almost missed this DPS check because of that. Right there, that's the Dark Communion, that's the heal. So we almost missed it there, but we did end up getting it. But we probably could have done this 1 key level higher if we didn't lose both the mage and the priest damage there a little bit. So yeah, Any kind of CC you can drop there. Ursouls if you have it. Mass Entangle is great there if you have it again. I don't have either of those. Ring of Frost is good. It'll just stop them at the bottom of the stairs, and they'll be stunned for a decent amount of time. And it's really just that first wave of ads you're worried about, so those like 5 or 6 ads. This Pride does get a little rough, obviously, because you've committed all of your CDs, your damage CDs, to doing this burst. So again, in an ideal world, you're probably invis potting, but I think we actually need pots to do this specific skip. So what we're doing there is we're just committing all of our healing CDs to that Pride, and it still gets a little bit scary. But yeah, but then we're just moving into this last boss, and we actually we end up hard trolling this boss. So we had like over 4 minutes going into this boss, and we cut it real close. Yeah, you're dodging statues. As a tank, you want to mitigate at the end of that bleed there, because that's when it's scariest. And storming is a little bit troll on this boss. If you get a bad tornado like that exactly, you cannot do the double soaks. So you have to just have 4 people eating damage, and this gets very, very scary. Yet gets very bad. We're able to double battle res here. Yeah, but basically, yeah, bad stormings on this fight just make it so you're taking double to triple the damage on those. Just because instead of 2 people soaking, you have 4. I guess double the damage, yeah. And then that cone, obviously, it looks much bigger than it actually is. For some reason, the visual is just absolutely tiny. Yeah, we have a decent storming here, so we're actually able to do a double soak. Yeah, probably should have had the rogue double soaking there so the warrior didn't die, because he was cloaking in his double soak. But yeah, scary thing now is we have to deal with the bleed without a healer. We have to commit a decent amount. Yes, just combust and the boss will die. Easy. But yeah, we're actually able to pull this out from here. No healer and DPS down, no battle res, and we do still time the dungeon. But yeah, we basically just hard trolled this boss and still time the dungeon. So I mean, overall, I mean, this dungeon, this route was pretty good, I think. We scuffed up the first like 2 or 3 pulls. Made some mistakes. We scuffed this boss very, very hard. We probably could have done more damage on the mini boss, and so all those things. I mean, I think we definitely could do this on a hierarchy for sure, but the mini boss skip, I think, kind of gets near impossible depending on your comp. As soon as you go to like 23, 24ish. But yeah, that is pretty much it for this extremely clean Halls of Atonement key. Remember, guys, if you learned something, leave a like and subscribe to support the channel. It really does help. If you guys have any questions regarding the route or the dungeon, Guardian Druid, or just tanking in general, feel free to leave a comment below, or you can stop by my Twitch channel at Tactics, and I will do my best to answer. That's all for now, though. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.